Yo, your boy Reec right here checking in, man. And we got some a legend, and then an up and coming legend. Because everybody been talking about you, bro. We're gonna get to you in a second, man. Your boy Reec is right here. Like I said, we got one of the OGs in the gang,
What
Kareem,
up,
Big
fam?
Burke. What's good, bro?
Everything good, man. I feel a lot better now. I got a little espresso.
Okay, yeah, I know. We was having a little issue in the back, but we got that
Greedy
together.
Simone stepped it up.
She doing makeup, she getting interviews.
Everything, yeah.
Everything. But right now, man, we got to talk about a few things.
What's good?
Because we got y'all on both from Brooklyn, but on different sides of the spectrum.
There you go. You want me to walk out?
Yeah, I was trying to set it up for that.
Because I'm from Harlem.
He's from Harlem. Look, I was trying to set it up for that.
It's like Brooklyn. I let it slide. I'd be like, yeah, we're moving from Brooklyn. It feels good. Like it feels good.
Because we was trying to set up a walkout.
Yeah.
We messed up the walkout. Nah, but you guys from the city of New York,
Yeah.
of course. And when you started out in music on this side of entertainment,
Yeah,
different ends of the historical spectrum. Now.
that's right.
Okay. We're not going to talk about the past. We want to talk about the future. Because the last time I saw you, you were at the clothing launch, 4th of November.
Yeah,
It was here.
that's right. Yeah, that Atlanta show we did. Yeah,
And now you back in the music scene.
back.
Right. I don't like that breath. What's going on with that? Back. He pulled you back.
He definitely pulled because I said I'd never touch music again.
Yeah,
you
then
know what I'm
2
saying?
months later, you meet him in the studio.
Damn, he put the month on it? Like,
Yeah.
why you do that?
Yeah.
2 months later.
Actually, it was 15 years since I did anything music related. But, me and St. John spent 2 months together building a relationship. And after hearing the first project, for me, it was a no-brainer. He kept saying, it sound like you want to do it, Biggs. You sound like you want to do it. And I consulted with my brothers, Jay and Tata. Right. And he was like, yo, it's something you're passionate about. So go ahead and, step back in.
And it's not like you don't know what you're doing.
I know a little bit about the music business,
You talk about
60 million records of experience.
Right,
Yeah.
of experience. And you got your hands in media right now, too.
Yeah, Bolo Media is my new company.
Right.
So doing TV and film, looking to acquire films. Just had 2 projects on HBO.
Right, I want to talk about both of those. As an OG,
Let's talk about it.
Trailer.
Yeah.
I wanted to see that bad. But I want to sit down. I want to sit down and really watch it.
Yeah.
Because you got real convicts in the movie.
Real convicts.
You got one of my favorite actors, Jeffrey Wright.
Definitely one of the best actors of our time.
How was it working with him? Because when I saw him stabbing himself as Peoples Hernandez and Shaft, I was like, yo, that's the best actor because I really felt like he was stabbing himself for real.
Yeah.
So now to fast forward into this role, he's really selling it.
Yeah, I mean, he challenges himself, right? So you got to think about it for him to play an inmate alongside of real inmates, right? Of guys that's really doing 30 years and some of them doing life. Had to be a challenging role for him.
Right.
So he took that on and delivered. Right. So it's a real powerful film talking about restorative justice, social reform, and I think it's going to start a dialogue that'll start to help to change things that's happening in our community.
It's definitely a dialogue that needs to be had. We can see what's going on with Meek. You see what Jay came in and helped him with the reform. They got the big push right now.
Yeah, that's right.
Do you think this movie is kind of be almost like a backdrop, a soundtrack to what's going on in real life?
It's 100% that. And not only that, it's another project too called "It's a Hard Truth, Ain't It?" So it's
with
it's
the
2
inmates out in the movie.
Yeah, and they actually interviewing themselves and talking about their plight, how they lived, and what actually got them into prison.
Right.
So hopefully, some of the youth, some of the people that's out there committing crimes will hopefully dodge those traps and see that as the repercussion. Right. To say, look, I'm doing this now, but this can, possibly, land me in prison for the rest of my life.
Why does it hit close to home with you? Because I know your story, but a lot of people may not.
Well, I mean, it's a lot. I mean, not only just my story, right? It's growing up in the neighborhoods that I grew up in, and speaking to those kids that's in the same place that we were. And when you go outside, it's just so much there, and it draws you in. It's almost like a black hole sometimes. It just pulls you in, and you gravitate to these uncharted waters, and then you think that that's the life that you're supposed to live, right? Jay talked about it early on. We didn't pray to God, we prayed to God.
Right.
So it's all these figures that you grow up idolizing and you want to become, and you do these things
trying to get out of that hole. Because I heard him also talk about using that cheat code. It's like we don't have a step up. We starting out from such a deficit.
Yeah.
It's like you see the guys out in the street doing their numbers, and you want to get out there and do the same thing, but not just to be a bad guy, quote unquote. It's how to win.
Yeah, you try to win. You try to get in to get out. But sometimes, the law of the game keeps you in for so long, and then there's only two ways, right? You're either dead or in jail.
Right.
So again, bringing it back to the film. That's
quote a bunch of stuff from Reasonable Doubt.
Yeah. Fam, this is our life. You know what I'm saying?
Right,
we just put it on, gave it to the world.
I think that's what made the music and the history so obtainable for us as fans and as listeners, because you guys weren't just talking just stuff. You know what I mean? You was talking real life situations.
Yeah, exactly.
Right. So that brings me to the music. Now that you're back in it, we talked about, you said 15 years out of the game.
15 years, man.
Right. Yeah. But then you meet this guy, this young guy, right?
Superstar.
I've been hearing this word about this man, even the PD that walked through, the VP that walked through. He said, yo, he's out of here.
Yes, he is. So, I'm glad that everybody right now is, hearing the songs, getting to meet him and getting to see what I'm seeing.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because it comes across, and then you get, you want to be on stuff early on, that gift of discovery, so you could feel like you kind of grew with the artist, you know what I mean? And I'm enjoying that too, especially the process. The most exciting thing for me working with him is seeing him create. He talked about the other day, you go in the studio, it's really a blank space, and then you come out with songs and all these things that can possibly change the world. And that's exciting for me to see the creative process and what he goes through making a song.
So how was your input creatively into the project? Like, does he like, nah, you should move this around, you should change this, or is it just straight you creative, do what you do, and then you come in with your experience?
Nah, he does what he he definitely do what he do, but I might say think about this song or whatever, but I'm using a cheat code, so I'm calling hip hop my brother who A&R 10 or 12 of J albums, did all the Kanye's, and brought everything that was the core of Rocafella. I lean on Jay as well. And, Jay just always hit me back. He's like, yo, he's ready. Let him go.
Okay.
Let him go. He's next.
That's what's up. Now, St. John, how do you feel about working next to legends like this? And you got almost like you got the cheat code, but you got the talent to prove your point that you're supposed to be here, right?
Yeah.
So how does that pressure, though?
I keep hearing the reoccurring word pressure. It's not pressure. I don't feel pressure. I feel like I'm in a place where I'm supposed to be, right? Like, if I'm a good swimmer and you find me in the ocean, you wouldn't feel like I'm a fish out of water, right? That'd be a poor choice of words. Right? So pressure is a poor choice of words for someone like me. I know pressure. I felt it. I felt it my entire life. This feels like freedom.
That's what's up. That's what's up. Now, that's what I was going to say. Because you didn't look or you didn't seem or you didn't act like this is new to you. It's like you're supposed to be here and all the pieces are falling in place.
Yeah, and it takes a long time to get here, right? So you got to envision yourself in a position sort of like this. So by the time you walk in the door, you've been in this room before. You've seen it in your mind 67 times,
Right.
So it feels like that.
I got you. Now, where would you kind of see where your music is going right now? Because I heard your early stuff. It wasn't as urban. And then I hit a song Trap with Lil Baby. It seems like you kind of meshing the two together.
It didn't feel, the earlier works didn't feel urban?
It didn't feel urban, to say, from the full standpoint.
I mean, I make music on a spectrum. What I mean by that is there's just sounds. What's the difference between me rapping and singing? Holding the note a little bit longer?
Depends on how you listen, I guess, yeah.
Right? There's no real distinction. We make these boxes in our mind.
Right.
I remove the boxes. I get rid of the boxes so that I can get to the sound. All it is sound for me. The distinction between using the guitar and using 808s for me is just, for someone else, that might mean rock versus hip hop. For me, it's just a sound.
I got you.
Yeah.
I got you. So I know you having fun enjoying this music too, right?
I mean, it's a great time.
Yeah.
Life is pretty good.
With the traveling and show, now your shows are crazy.
Yeah.
I love them. It looks like you get to put a battery in this guy's back when he hits the stage. It's different. Because I know you seem smooth when you're using your drops in the studio and everything. But if you have the privilege, and I'm going to use that word very lightly with people I interview and talk to, the privilege of seeing you on stage is different.
Yeah, it's way different. It's because you get the full form of the expression. Right? I'm standing in front of you and I get to
be personal.
Right. I could recreate the moment. I can articulate the sentiment, like why I did it. That's different. That's second to being in the studio watching it happen.
What was that first conversation with you and Biggs like?
Hey, what's up? I'm St. John. We got mutual friends. It was as simple as
that.
Yeah.
That was it.
Yeah, and I was like, get a camera. This is St. John. Simone, this is St. John.
Literally. Yeah.
That's what's up. Now, what made you want to pursue a partnership with this guy right here?
His ideas. Right? Now, of course, I watched him growing up forever.
Right.
I know the legend. I'm right I know it, right? And I was a fan of the music, and I was a fan of the brand, and I was a fan of the ideology. I'm talking about Rocafella.
Right. What was the ideology? What did it mean to you?
It's young black business, right? It's entrepreneurship.
At its finest and
at
partnership.
its finest.
Right.
It's culture at the highest level. It was those things. Those things are, it's the reason why I'm in here with red pants. It's at the highest level. They leather too.
You got to explain that. That's got to be explained.
No, because it's a taste. There was a taste acumen, right? There's a certain perspective.
You got it with a guy from Harlem. You know, Harlem, they known for their swagger. You know what I mean?
I mean, it was a New York thing. It's a whole New York thing. Don't segment it. Don't do that.
Segment it.
It's a whole New York thing.
Nah,
I'm from Brooklyn.
Yeah, I got you.
Right?
Right.
So growing up, I got to watch it all. I got to watch it all sort of from a distance, and I got to learn from it. So my ideas are similar in that way.
I got you.
And like my intentions and what I want to do.
I see you as a very well-rounded artist, and I think that's needed nowadays. You kind of chime in on that because with social media, I know you guys that behind the scenes then could really be behind the scenes. Minus Dane. We know what Dane was doing. Yeah. But, you know, you guys were allotted the privilege to be behind the scenes. Now everybody wants to see what the whole team is doing. How does that make you move different?
No, I don't. I mean, I don't think about what other people want to do. You know what I mean? It's just what works best for me.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And the brand that I'm creating. So if I'm not, you know, compromising integrity of my brand, if it's something that speaks to me, if it's true to me, I'm gonna talk about it.
Gotcha.
But I don't just, you know, go out and use platforms just to talk, just, you know what I mean, for the sake of talking.
Right.
If I have something to say, then, you know, that's when I want to talk.
Got you. Now, with artists being on such a forefront too, with social media platforms, like he almost has to be out front. Do you think it could be a part where he might be oversaturated because he has a huge personality?
Yeah, but at some point, but not right now. You know what I mean? We're still building the brand.
Yeah.
So, you know, it'll be the point that he'll probably have to pull back. You know, you can't go to 30 and 40 radio stations at some point in time. But right now it's about building the brand and letting everybody know who he is. And once they drawing in, then I think then we'll capture an audience that'll stay with us for a long time.
Cool. Once y'all narrow that 40 down, make sure you keep coming back here. Right?
100%.
My man,
Sounds good.
it's on camera, so they say so. Believe it.
It's a contract now.
So what else do you have coming up? Because you know, you got Bolo Media and you got the movies and everything. So I know your visuals are gonna be out of here.
I mean, absolutely. That was always a standard though, right?
Yeah.
There's always a certain standard of excellence. I make things like I'm watching. You know, people like, yo, my mom's watching, like my uncle's, I'm watching.
That's taking the ultimate pride in your work.
Yeah. I gotta like it. I gotta love it. Right. So Ghetto Lenny's Love Songs is coming up. Okay. That's the next collection. So collection 1 came out. That's the first project. Second project, Ghetto Lenny's Love Songs. Okay. And then the intention is to shoot what feels like a, let me not put myself in that box. You're going to hold me to that.
I ain't going to hold you to it.
I'm not doing that.
We got all of that out the way
I'm not
early.
doing that. Yeah. So that's coming out. And then we're doing Rolling Loud and a bunch of other festivals this year.
Y'all hit South by Southwest this year?
Yeah. So we're doing something on like Saturday.
Okay.
I don't know.
Y'all on the move.
Yeah, Saturday with Swisher. It'll be dope. Yeah.
Right.
Big stage.
Yeah. It should be a great look. And then Pot of Gold on Sunday, which is a big festival in Arizona. So it's me, Lil Wayne, Post Malone, and a lot of other names I sort of forget.
Right. That's crazy right there.
Those are good names to mention.
Those are great names to remember, though. Great names to remember.
I like those.
Right. Just to name a few. So with the streaming platforms, do you guys see yourself going like just with one, or you want to hit all of them? Or because I know you got to end with Tidal.
Yeah, but you know the music is for everybody. You know what I mean? You know, obviously I love working with my brother, but there'll be things that we do. Right. But the music is for everybody, and then at the same time, I can't box him in. You know what I'm saying? Just because I have a relationship over there, it has nothing to do with him. It's basically I got a fiduciary duty to do the right thing by him, right? So I got to make sure he's the biggest thing on the planet. I
got you, man. That sounds great. What else do you have coming up? Because I know you got the relaunch of the clothing line too.
Yeah, relaunch of the clothing line. But right now, it's all about St. John right now. So my focus is right now getting this project out, shooting these 7 to 8 videos that we want to do. And making sure this is another classic that drops.
Right. I know some of the questions that are going to be popping up under this video is, are you looking for other artists?
No.
Gotcha. We've heard them say no before. This sounds like a real no once again.
If you are artists and you want to make it, go to @St. John. Okay. And then, you know, you got to go through that, you know.
Got to go through that. So you are the gatekeeper now.
Yeah, he's the gatekeeper.
It's like a good system. The system works.
So what do you see yourself after the music?
That's a fantastic question.
What
do I see myself beyond the music? There's social things that I want to address. Some of them will come out in the music, and then I get to make up my mind and decide how involved I want to be. Yeah. Because I don't take it for granted. You get a platform, you get an opportunity to talk to a mass of people, right? And I want to make sure that I'm communicating ideas I believe in.
I got you.
Thoroughly.
That's good.
Right? Because I was a little hungry barefoot kid too.
Mm.
So when I get a chance to talk to them, which is just me, myself in a younger format, I want to make sure I give them some information I didn't have before.
That's great because a lot of artists, they, like you said, they take advantage of the situation, which you're supposed to do,
Sure.
but you aren't able to pull back. And we really need that. Like, we need guys like you to use your voice and use your platform for change, especially socially, because we all come from a similar situation.
100%, yeah.
Right.
And at the same time, a lot of artists, you know, I talked to, even that we had back in the days, they got to understand that any time that faucet could cut off. You know what I mean? So a lot of times they think like I could spend, I could do this and that. So, you know, we treating every album like this could be our last. But at the same time, we're looking to open doors and create new opportunities for the brand. Right. So using that as a platform to springboard off to create more opportunities. So music won't be the only thing that he's doing.
All right, when your book coming out?
Actually, we're talking about that now.
Okay.
Yeah.
Jump the gun. Cut that part out. Don't worry about it. St. John, Kareem's Big Burke. I appreciate you guys coming by.
Thanks
man.
for having us.
It's been absolutely fabulous, man. I'll be looking for
Yo, I'm out of here.
Right. And I don't do clickbait interviews, so I try to bait them into walking out early. Appreciate y'all. No doubt.